Hey guys, Orc Guide here, bringing you an updated review on my DXRacer Sentinel chair. So there's not going to be much to say about this. It's probably going to be a lot shorter than the 30-minute video because hopefully you watched that. You saw the tips on what you can do to look, what to look for in your chair, making sure that you get the budget set, you shop around enough. Some of the things that I noticed while I was shopping myself, and hopefully you got a chance to view that. If you didn't, there's going to be a link in the description below. And well, so 3 months later, how am I feeling about the chair? As you'll see on the left side here, yeah. I took a picture of the chair cushion because that's one thing right off the bat I was a little disappointed in. You can see the two pictures on each side. You can tell with the stock photo picture, the cushion is very thick. It looks very fulfilling. And when I got it, it looked about even with the sidebars that come up. Um, and it wasn't uncomfortable or anything like that, but it looked a lot more full when you first get it. 3 months later, wear and tear, sitting on it. I'm on it every day, at least 8 hours a day. I work from home. I sit in the chair all day. I've just started up Twitch and streaming on Twitch. Still doing the YouTube stuff, so I spend a good portion of my day in my chair. So I'm not too surprised with my weight and just sitting in it all day long that it's lost some of that cushion. But it is something to consider. It's not something that's a hard enough foam or a memory foam that will withstand the use over time. It's eventually going to give out. It's going to flatten out a little bit, but it's still good. It's still comfortable. I still don't feel the bars on the side, which was one of my main concerns. Which I've actually talked to a few other people that own DXRacer chairs. The smaller versions, not the Sentinel or the I don't remember the name of the next higher class, but the ones that own the standard chairs, they do and have said that those bars do kind of get in the way at times, especially people that like to prop their feet up or cross their legs on their chair. Um, so that's that. You just kind of gotta look around a little bit and find what's working for you. For me, this worked out great. I still feel very comfortable in the chair. Um, I said it in my original video, I think, that the lumbar pillow is on two straps, and that's one thing that really bugs me because it does not stay in place. It slides down every single time I sit down and get relaxed. Um, so basically, the lumbar being on those two straps, it slides down very easily, and I've gotten tired of adjusting it. So I don't even adjust it anymore. It sits at the very bottom of my chair, and it's now a butt support instead of a lumbar support. It's a little annoying because it's not giving me the support where I want it in the lower back. It's giving support in the backside, which gets either uncomfortable at times. Not having it there also feels uncomfortable. I really wish there was a better way that DXRacer can adjust that back lumbar support pillow, or build it into the backrest itself. Like I said, I'm not sponsored or anything, so Titan chairs have that lumbar support built into the back of the chair. So if lumbar support is something you're looking for, you want to go check those out because they actually do really look nice. I did talk to someone else that also has a Titan chair, get some feedback from her on how she liked it. She said it's a very comfortable chair. Like I said in my other video, I don't like the Titan chairs mostly because um, the pleather, polyurethane leather that they use for the chair gets really hot. This chair gets hot as well, as I've noticed over time. I'm wearing a black t-shirt. It's 110 degrees outside in Arizona. I have the AC going, but it's still not enough. I still get very hot. I have two separate fans, one under the desk, one behind me, and both of them, going at the same time keeps me cool enough, but I still, the back of the chair doesn't breathe enough. So going back to the lumbar, the lumbar isn't a big thing for me. It is annoying, and it's already flattened out quite a bit from when I first purchased it. But again, it's not a huge deal breaker with the chair. I still like it. I still use it. Occasionally, if I am having back pains in the lower back or anything like that, I will, push it up and adjust it over time throughout the day. But for the most part, I don't bother with it anymore. I either take it off or I just let it sit at the bottom and just sit at the chair that way. So one other thing, I'm gonna move to the side here. So they made a new headrest. Let me take this off actually real quick. So they made a new headrest for the DXRacer chair, and I love this thing. The only downfall to this is they put a strap on the back, a flexible strap that's held together just by Velcro. So it will hold on the back of the chair. I just loop it over the chair itself and then just adjust it down as far as it'll go. And it sits behind my head. I'd actually love if this thing sat just a little lower, right there, because then it would be supporting the shoulder blades. It'd give a little open space on the top of the neck and still have the headrest supporting my the back of my head. But as soon as I move, it pops back up because the strap here is stretchy and Velcro, and it just wants to sit in one spot. I have gotten very used to just resting my head onto the pillow, and it is very comfortable. This has actually stood up very well. There's really no stains or anything on it. It's still, very, very good with the pressure on the back of the head. It hasn't flattened out or anything over time. One thing I have noticed is as I get into my gameplay and I'm playing for hours, I tend to start leaning forward quite a bit, but that's just my bad habits of how I've been sitting. One other thing too is I made a note to say that um, when I sit in my chairs, I usually prop up one foot underneath my leg, either side, and sit like that for a long duration. Well, it's 50-50 now. I don't do that as often. A lot of the times I'll either just cross my leg over my other leg now, or I'll just have both my feet down flat on the floor. And I've noticed from my old chair, which was really crappy, that thing is broken and it needs to be thrown away. My old chair really hurt my back at the end of the day, and I've noticed a huge difference from my old chair to this chair, of course, because it's a big difference in the money I spent and the quality that I purchased. So my back is feeling a lot better lately. I can sit in this chair all day long. I don't feel fatigued. I don't feel like I need to stretch my back or, go stretch or, move things around to get things, situated again. So it is really comfortable to sit in for long durations. The other thing too, going back to the person I was talking to with a Titan chair was, she said one thing that when she was streaming on her channel, I noticed she's taller. She's about 6 foot, so she's a little taller than me, and her Titan chair doesn't go all the way up to her head. But the headrest on that chair almost lines up with the back of her neck and the back of her head. So she said that's actually pretty comfortable for her because it kind of supports her head while she's playing, and it feels comfortable for her. So the Titan chair looks really nice. I really like it. If they had an option to have it in some kind of cloth material, I probably would have gone with that one over the DXRacer, but I really wanted to get the cloth material because I felt like that was going to breathe a little bit better, which over time I've noticed it really doesn't breathe any better than the leather probably. But it is, a little bit more comfortable to me too, because if you get hot and sweaty, you get sticky, and then you get stuck on the chair, and it's not comfortable. It's not pretty. So we'll just leave it at that. Leave it to your imagination to, put that together there. So let's see. Let's work from the bottom up and kind of go through some of the things. One thing that I still love about the chair is the coated wheels on the bottom. So I've had several times where I've woken up very early in the morning, kids sleeping on the couch or doors open all over, and being able to roll this chair around without creating a lot of noise is very beneficial. I like it quite a bit. It feels really smooth when I wheel the chair around and move it around. I have my setup here for gaming, and then I have my other setup for work on the side. So sometimes I do adjust and move the chair around quite a bit throughout the day. So it's nice not to hear that in the background, and also the movement is very smooth and very, very comfortable to move the chair around. Doesn't feel like you're forcing the chair anywhere, stuff like that. So the elevation of the chair, again, I keep it at the lowest setting. I keep my armrest level with the desk, and that has worked really well. I have not noticed that uh, the bar inside the elevation control, it has not sunk down any lower. That doesn't feel like it's having any issues or anything like that, so that's a plus. So going to the adjustable base of the DXRacer chair, I've noticed a couple things, and hopefully it's just, something that may have happened with my chair. A lot of people start to notice wiggling and stuff like that. I haven't noticed that, luckily. There's no wiggle room. It's very solid still, side to side. If I go front to back, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but I think that's because when I adjust my chair as far as the tilt, I tend to tilt it back just a little bit more so that way my legs are raised up at an angle. But here's the kicker is that uh, that setting that I usually put it at, so my legs are right at an angle, it seems like over time it slowly levels out and my legs end up being level with the floor, which it's not a bad thing. I mean, that's the thing is I would tilt it up just a little bit to get a little bit more comfortable and kind of lean back on the backrest a little bit more. Um, and it seems like over time it just kind of levels back out and it doesn't stay in that tilt that I had it at originally. If I reset the chair and I put it back at that, it stays at it for a long time, but I think it's like over a day or so. That's when it starts to go down. But the weird thing is it's also not going down to the full forward position, because the full forward position actually, let me do this, it pushes me forward. So I can feel like I'm kind of about to slide down on the chair. So when I do lock it in that position for the level, it is comfortable and I don't mind it. It's just every once in a while I like to have that tilt on it just a little bit, and it feels like either it's just going back to the level. Maybe it's something with when I get off the chair, it resets that tilt back to where it was before or something. I don't know. It's not a smart chair, so I doubt it. I have a feeling that just over time it slowly starts going back to another position. So I don't know. Another thing with the backrest, it has the feature where you can tilt your chair back all the way and then raise it forward. If I put it all the way forward, another thing that I noticed over time is it feels like it's starting to lean back a little bit more maybe just because of the pressure that I'm putting onto it. But it felt like when I very first got the chair and I would pull that lever and let the back of the chair, it would also have that effect of kind of pushing me forward. But with this one, it feels like maybe it's either leveled out to where it stays in one position. It's not like it doesn't wiggle or anything. It's very firm in the position it's at. So I think maybe when I first got it, maybe it was just kind of sitting in the position it's supposed to, getting one of those notches to lock it in position. So, and that may be what's going on with the tilting of the chair too. I may not be locking it in the right position, and so that's why it's slowly going forward. But overall, I mean, it's still doing really good. It's really comfortable to sit in. Um, the armrests, I mean, you set them at one position and then you pretty much keep them there. I've got mine set up just the way I like it. The kids like to mess with it and change the positions, but I know exactly where I like it, so that way when I'm gaming and when I'm working, my arms are level with the desk, so that way I don't have any kind of wrist bending going on either up or down. My wrists are straight, so that way it helps with carpal tunnel, stuff like that. So it's really nice, and you can get that locked into a certain position and it stays there. So, I mean, the arms are nice where you can make those adjustments exactly how you like it, and then once when it's set, you're done. You don't have to mess with it anymore. Another thing, too, is I think I mentioned this in the other video, is that underneath the seat, there's screws that you can undo, and you can adjust that armrest in a little bit more, out a little bit more, to fit your comfort level, along with the adjustments that it can do with the pads and stuff like that. One of the other things to note too is that when I was talking to some of the people that own the older DX racers and some of the other high-end chairs, they complained about the armrest where it feels like it's very narrow and they don't have enough room to really set their arms on there. I don't have that complaint at all with this. It's about the width of my hand, so so it has enough room for my arms to sit on there very comfortably, and it doesn't feel like I'm gonna kind of have them fall off the armrest or anything like that. So going into the back of the chair, again, it's solid. It's still holding up very well. Um, I did mention before I didn't know how much I would ever use the, almost horizontal feature of the chair. I tried it out a few times just to try it out, and it is actually pretty comfortable. I set it up so that way I was watching a show on Netflix, and when I was flat out resting, I actually grabbed another pillow, not this one, laid on it for a little while, and it's amazing how stable the chair feels when you're in that position. Because when I'm 250 pounds, 5 foot 9 inches, I'm a heavy set kind of guy. I feel like I'm worried this chair is going to tilt backwards and fall on me when I do that. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. When I lay on this thing, when it's flat out, I feel very sturdy. This thing was built right, and it was built exactly how it needed to be. So that way the center of the adjustable frame really offsets the weight that's going to be on the chair in that full horizontal position. So it feels really nice, and it feels really solid when you're in that position. I don't stay in it in a very long time. I do move around. I was kind of tossing side to side, just kind of lay on there. And it felt pretty comfortable. So I was happy with it, and I liked it. I just don't use it that often, maybe once a month. So like 3 times so far now. I've only used it a few times overall in the last few months, but it is nice to have that. Um, see, as far as the cost, I mean the $400 and the code that I got to use to keep the price down, it really helped. And looking at some of the other chairs, they were a little bit cheaper than the $400, but that's just one of the things that When I was looking at the chair, I really didn't want to go over 400, so I kept it right at that point. And I think it was money well spent. I love the chair. It's comfortable. It's still standing very well over 3 months now. So I mean, there's not much else to say. I wanted to kind of illustrate that after only 3 months of use, it still feels really good. Um, I mean, what else are you looking for a 3 month review? I may try to do another 6 month, which I don't know if I will or not because I mean 3 months to 6 months, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a big difference, but we'll see. I mean, if anything major comes up and the chair for some reason just all of a sudden breaks or I start having issues with it or anything like that, I'll probably give another review on that. But if you don't see another video for a while, just know that it's probably still doing great because I spent $400 on it. I'm not just gonna, praise this thing all the time. If I find an issue with it, I will make sure I post something on the channel so that way you guys know. Otherwise, keep a lookout. I may do another one in 3 months. I may do one in 6 months. I may wait until the year after I've been using it. So hopefully this has helped you out. Again, if you didn't see the initial video, link in the description. If you don't mind, hit the like button. It helps with people being able to see this video and get the help that you got. With the original video, if you post a comment or a question, I will try to respond to you as soon as I can. I had a few questions come up from people there. You can go back to the other video, look at those questions and the answers I provided, and I'll try to be as helpful as I can because I know it's not something to lightly buy a $400 chair. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope this has helped. Take care.